Okay, so it is 6:01 in the morning on a Tuesday. This is my drive to work. So, I, yesterday had thought that, because my car doesn't have a radio. It's also a 1988 Honda Prelude that I got for 800 bucks. It's got a couple problems, but I'll get to that in a little while. So, yesterday I thought that on my way to work and back and whatnot, since I don't have a radio, have all this time, I'm just there to talk to myself. Oh, I don't know. That is one or both of my belts being way too tight, so they kind of screech for a long time. It's very, very irritating, and it does go away. Maybe. So headphone people's, I do sincerely appreciate. I don't know if there's a way or not, if I can sort of alleviate that high frequency squealing hell while I'm driving. It kind of goes away on its own for a little bit, but like now, I think after they warm up for a little bit, they loosen up or something like that. But I noticed that when I just start the engine or when I just take off or something like that, they tend to squeal, which I don't like very much. So, but I lack the tools at the moment to fix them or to loosen them up a little bit, because I had to tighten my alternator back on, because when I got it, I guess it was a little loose, and so the battery wasn't charging quite right all the way. So I would constantly be left with a dead battery after a day and a half of driving. So I was like, well, something's wrong with this, piece of crap I just bought. And so I was looking around trying to fix it. So my buddy was like, well, hey, look at this. Your alternator moves around when I touch it. And it's like, well, that's clearly not a good thing. So we tightened that back down, and I guess the alternator belt tensioner pulley, or whatever it's called, I'm not very mechanically savvy, was super loose, and I guess just the belt was just barely hanging on there. So I guess when he tightened that down, he like seriously over tightened it or something like that. There's like no flex in the belt whatsoever, just kind of spins around and doesn't really have any play room to account for cold air or whatnot, So that needs to get fixed, I think. But back to my drive and this video. So this video, I was basically thinking yesterday on my way home or to work or something like that, I can't remember, that I like talking to myself, because I think I know a lot about stuff, but occasionally this is not the case. So, and I took the weirdest route to work. I should not have taken this one. But, yeah, so I was like, cop, without the whole external monologue. It was just kind of in my head. I was like, so Kyle, if I'm so, a trivia fact, factoid, collector of random things that nobody should ever really need or want to know, why shouldn't you spend that with anybody else, sort of thing. And I don't know, I said spend that with anybody else, but I was thinking that I'd make this one starter video on my way to work. Then should it be, liked or successful, or if, one person finds it enjoyable or hilarious, because I try to joke around a little bit, and I might continue it or whatnot. But right now I'm using the front-facing camera on my phone. So if you notice that I have to drop the phone all of a sudden, it's probably because there's a police officer of some agency, and there's that squealing again, that is in the vicinity, and I don't want to get pulled over, because here in Washington State, at least, I don't know if you're watching this outside Washington State or what, but it is illegal to basically have your phone accessible to you while you're driving a motor vehicle, which I think is kind of baloney. my phone doesn't have a light on it, so I'm using my car's kind of cabin light to kind of provide some sort of illumination on like a third of my face. So you can't really see my face that well. But my phone's like actual camera, the good one, you know, on the back, has the light up LED and stuff, which I tried at first, but that was just super bright and I could not see anything while I was driving, so I decided that's probably not the best thing safety-wise. So I decided to go with the front, and it doesn't have an LED or a light to shine in my eyes, so I can't be blinded or something, so I gotta deal with that thing until it burns out or whatnot. But one of these days I was gonna get a laptop or something like that, and I was probably gonna get, I don't know, I was just gonna get a laptop for whatever reason, because I like being on the computer, like wherever, you know. If you go over to somebody's house, they don't necessarily like you being on their computer 24/7, so you just bring yours. But it's hard bringing my desktop all over the place, even though it has a handle, which makes it very accessibly convenient for me. But then you gotta lug all these wires and cords and monitors all over the place, and you know, I like mine because I have a nice wireless keyboard whenever I need to go anywhere. I just plug it in and sit across the room from it, hook my computer up to the TV, and I'm good to go to watch movies and stuff. But yeah, so during these videos, if they are going to be videos, it might just be this one. I was just going to talk about stuff like movies and technology, sports maybe. I don't know. I'm not too big on sports, but you know, Seahawks doing very excellent. I don't know if you can see the emblem on my. Oh, it's on the side. Are doing very well this year, undefeated so far. But you know, it's only 3 games into the season. But we're also undefeated in the preseason, which I'm very happy about. But yeah, like sports, movies, music. I myself don't really like anything within the last 3 years or so. It's all been this super pop influence kind of lasagna mess. I don't know why I chose the word lasagna to describe a mess, because I rather like lasagna. But I'm not much a fan of this pop music that's going around. I myself find myself, geez, I just run on a lot. But I like the rock genre, and here I am with the squealing bolts again. I like the classic rock. You know, anywhere from the 70s. Like, I like Zeppelin. I mean, you just gotta get the lead out occasionally. It's just gotta happen. So, yeah, here I am at a red light. It's probably why it's lighting on my face so well, because there's super bright lights. It's also 59 degrees out, so it's super cold. Music. Where was I? Yeah, Led Zeppelin. You gotta like the Stones. AC/DC, Sabbath, Metallica, Megadeth, Iron Maiden, Motorhead, that sort of thing. That's all good stuff. And you carry that up until now, you know, stuff with like, I like Nirvana, Disturbed, Korn, Papa Roach, Trapped, you know, Godsmack, that sort of stuff. I like all the rock / the metal genre. And then lately, the new band that I like is kind of, you know, just kind of taken over, I guess, with their one song is Imagine Dragons and Radioactive. I do like that one. But that's my exception, I think, so far. I did get over. Gosh, I don't like traffic very much. But yeah, so these, you know, these videos also, like, because I like you know, helping people. I put out like tutorials of stuff on my channel about video games and whatnot, which I would also, you know, not mind talking about because I like video games. So I like to keep up to date on video game news. You know, I like thinking about stuff. So like theology, you know, like the study of religion. I like science itself. I don't find myself to be a particularly religious person, but that doesn't mean I can't, enjoy thinking if there's some greater. Oh, I think there's a cop. Maybe. No, just a coffee shop's lights. All right, that was weird. But yeah, so I like to just think about things, and then so I was just gonna like share these thoughts with anybody who wants to watch them, kind of like in the 40s or late 30s when it was started with FDR's fireside chats. But this is gonna be like, this gathering around the warmth of your computer monitor, or your smartphone or tablet. Take your pick. So, but yeah, so I like helping people. So I was like, okay, so since these videos are going to be during my commute, I basically get a chance to talk over, basically how I drive compared to how all the other crazy people on the road that don't know how to drive. So I was like, I was driving down this particular highway right now, just the other day, and I have a little teeny tiny 4-cylinder Honda, and I was in the right-hand lane, and then up along in the left-hand lane there was this black Dodge truck carrying a boat behind him. He was just towing this boat, and then he was pulled up right alongside me, and they just started to move over into my lane. He did have his his turn signal on and everything, and he did it by the books, but he didn't even look through the window to see me there. So as he was getting over, I was like halfway along the shoulder, and I'd just be like, I don't know, I was looking like shit, had he looked through his mirror, he would have made eye contact with me. I was looking through his side mirror at his face, so I wasn't in his blind spot, and he could have just looked over his shoulder and seen me anyway. But like I think technically he ran me off the road, but I was still driving, and I just kind of looked at him and was like, hey man, what the heck, you don't do that sort of thing. My 4-cylinder, I don't have the speed to kind of accelerate out of that situation, but I think it was like perfectly good driving conditions. Like the road was dry and it hadn't rained for like a week or something like that, but I might have been able to just stomp on my brakes, but going highway speeds, you never really want to do that, because then you chance swerving out or whatnot. But so I was gonna make this video also, like, so say you know somebody, or you yourself, or just about to get your license, or you just got it and you don't exactly know how to react to certain situations. I'm not saying that I hope to record some of those situations, to put myself in, a dangerous sort of, you don't want to be in that sort of situation. But, should it happen, I'm going to try and show to the best of my driving ability. I'm going to take pride in my ability. So I drive like a movie hero. I drive passive aggressively. I don't know if that's the word to describe my driving style, but I get where I need to go very efficiently. But so just kind of talking through the driving process. That's a skunk. Sorry, that was a skunk. But just talking people through the driving process, I think like this is better than having, mom or dad riding shotgun. Just be like, oh gosh, don't do that. Oh, just squeeze the dashboard off, with like vice grip fingers. It's just sort of, a general reassurance of, you really shouldn't do this. Whereas, you see, person in white sedan, move over through 7 lanes of traffic and not use a blinker for a single one, and it's rush hour. You don't want to be that guy. But, just sort of, with that, there's not much you can do. It's just kind of, you just got to take your time doing, what you were doing. Obviously, highway at 140, miles an hour. But yeah, it's just a general reassurance for driving sort of thing. But I'm pretty sure my engine noise is going to get picked up in this video, and I'm just not even going to look at it when I bring it home. I'm just going to upload it and see what happens. But it's probably going to be very irritating due to the background noise, because I can barely hear myself talk. But yeah, my 4-cylinder puts out a lot of noise and a whole lot of nothing power-wise. So yes, but technology-wise, or I don't even know what to talk about right now until I get some feedback from somebody. But so I'm just gonna blabber on, and this is gonna be the worst possible series intro video ever. But oh, this guy's driving super slow. But yeah, so I'm interested in a lot of things. As I said earlier, I like technology, which is different than just science in general. I would say, some people may disagree with me, but technology is the devices, the interfaces, the mechanics, the objects of everything, whereas science is the study of it. Okay, so you have technology, which is the object, and science, which is the act. It's heavy. So, and then religion. I don't find myself to be a religious person. I don't really believe in one sort of doctrine or philosophy over another. Over time, civilizations have had a different reason and a different need to believe in different things, which at the time would make sense in their circumstances. But I find that existentialism, the search for something more than yourself per se, is I don't really want to say the way to go, but it makes sense. Like, I don't really say, John Doe, just for instance, nice solid name of an example. He wants to know, if what he's doing here, on planet Earth, the third rock from the sun here in the solar system, Sol, is, what he's destined to do for the rest of his life, is like most likely. And why I say this is because we, at a time in our lives, are born after the kind of space exploration itch. I don't even know what I mean by that, but it's like, okay, so in this, 69, when we launched and I say we as, nations, the whole world, launched our whole space race kind of thing, and then we now as U.S., Kennedy put us on the moon and stuff. That was what I call the space race itch. We're just kind of itching to get out there, just kind of competing, have a national sense of, we can do this. But we don't really have that anymore as a nation. We have private space companies like SpaceX and Virgin Galactic, headed by Sir Richard Branson, and SpaceX is from Mr. Elon Musk. They're very promising in what they have to offer or bring to the plate. Because SpaceX has already got their contract with the American Space Agency, NASA, to rendezvous with the International Space Agency and other orbiting things to bring up cargo or equipment or something like that via their unmanned or imminently future planned manned version of their Dragon capsule on the Falcon 9 rocket, which I must admit is a very efficient delivery system. In the in the early days when we were going to the moon, we used these massive things, you know, the Saturn V, I think it was. They're just super huge, gargantuan rockets that would just, you know, they were just, oh, they were amazing. but now, with the advances in technology and rocket fuel and stuff like that, I think rocket science is amazing. So now we have, or you know, SpaceX. I don't know if they developed the Falcon 9 rocket, or if, you know, they're borrowing it, the design, or, you know, subcontracting it. But the Falcon 9 rocket looks very similar to the Saturn V, but I think it's more, well, the fuel they use in it is more efficient. But, you know, it's not like a super heavy lifter. I mean, it's like a suborbital rendezvous craft or whatnot, you know. It's like basically it gets you into LEO, which is low Earth orbit. I don't know if they can go farther or not, but that's what they've done so far. Now, I'm very interested in space and technology, science, and that sort of thing. I myself would love to go into space. I would absolutely love it. I find like I was saying, we find ourselves in a time where, oh my gosh, people need to learn to slow down a lot quicker. I mean, slower. But we find ourselves in a time where we just missed the edge to go into space, and then we're born in a time where it's too soon, where the technology hasn't developed far enough to make it readily available to everybody. So we can't quite get out there now, and we missed the gap when we could, which I think is really unfortunate, because that's something I would have loved to do. But maybe my kids or my kids' kids, maybe, hopefully, I'm not going to be like, oh, you're going to be a big rocket surgeon or a brain scientist. You're gonna you're gonna enjoy what you do, and I hope you do. But I would hope that space itself is very dangerous. It's riddled with disease because well, currently our technology, when we go up there, we have to be in like a pure oxygen environment or something like that, which is very dangerous. Because say you should a spark catch or something, like you have a massive, fire-induced explosion, or the radiation emitted from the sun is not quite caught all the way. Well, for our International Space Station being in low Earth orbit, it's kind of in the magnetos, in our sort of magnet shield for radiation and stuff like that. So it I don't know if they're completely affected by radiation. I don't even know if it's reduced or anything for them. But I turned the light off too soon, didn't I? I'm about to go park in the parking lot. But should you venture somewhere out, outside of our planet, where you're not exactly protected by a magnetic bubble that our lovely planet Earth has, you run the risk of solar radiation and just cosmic background radiation emitted from other places. But that was my morning commute, and turn the light back on. So that was my morning drive. It is now 6:30 in the morning. It took me half an hour to get here. That would be about the length of these videos, because I also have to drive home in the afternoon. No, I don't think I'm going to do one in the afternoon today, because I ran out of stuff to talk about. So if somebody has a topic they want me to talk about, or a question about something that I might be able to shed my useless trivia on, that'd be great. But yeah, so I'm here at work. I'm going to end this. You have a great day.